Welcome back to Town Square Tales. Today we present episode 1 of True Crime in the Coal Fields, an ongoing series where we unearth the dark secrets of rural Alabama. I'm your host, Stacy Glover. Today we're diving into the chilling story from Brookside, Alabama, that is a tale of suspicion, poison, and a deadly family feud. This is the story of Nancy and Isaac Fields and the shocking events that tore apart their family. So let's grab a seat and step back in time to August 1914. It's the night of August 24th, 1914 in Brookside, Alabama. Nancy Fields, mother of 6, is found dead in her home. Sheriff's Deputy James P. Brents arrests Nancy's husband, Isaac Fields, the next day at 2 a.m. in the nearby community of Bryan. Fields is booked into the county jail in Birmingham, accused of Nancy's murder. The community is abuzz with whispers. Did Isaac poison his wife? Nancy's dying words haunt the case. She took a tablet from a bottle that Isaac had given her, fell ill, and cried, "Don't let him kill me. I'm poisoned." The case begins with a single tablet. Nancy, who's been under the care of Dr. Sherrif for a female condition, reportedly took a pill from a bottle that Isaac had purchased at the pharmacy. Sometime later, she falls ill, crying out, "Don't let him kill me. I'm poisoned." Her children, horrified, alert Deputy Brents. They're pointing their fingers at their father. The police investigation finds strychnine at the residence, but Isaac is adamant. He had only bought strychnine for use around the property to poison some pesky animals that were hanging about. He claims the pill Nancy ingested is a prescription for her treatment and prescribed by Dr. Sherrif. There's just one problem. Dr. Sherrif claims that he hasn't seen Nancy in months and hasn't prescribed anything recently. In his investigation, Sheriff's Deputy Brents, the county sheriff stationed in Brookside, notes long-standing troubles between the Fields. And Isaac admits that their family has been troubled. He goes so far as to claim that he and Nancy had recently shaken hands and agreed not to argue anymore. But was it too late? The coroner is quick to rule out natural causes. Nancy's death, he declares, was no accident. Adding fuel to the fire are the rumors swirling that Isaac has a friend in the community, a hint at infidelity that raises eyebrows. Conveniently, Isaac isn't at home on the night of his wife's death. Instead, the police find and arrest him at a home in nearby Bryan. On August 28th, the Birmingham Post-Herald paints Isaac as nonchalant and overly confident, suggesting he believes he'll walk free. A chemical report on Nancy's body is still days away, but on September 4th, a coroner's inquest in Brookside delivers a verdict of unlawful homicide by poisoning. The community is already convinced of Isaac's guilt. Witnesses testified of family strife and Nancy's accusation. The community recommends holding Isaac without bond despite lack of criminal evidence. Then the case shifts. On September 14th, the preliminary toxicology report finds no strychnine in Nancy's empty stomach. In fact, there was no food in her stomach either, suggesting it had been hours since she had last eaten. The coroner plans to exhume her body for microscopic analysis, and Isaac remains in jail. By September 28th, the Birmingham News reports a stunning development. No poison is found in Nancy's kidneys, stomach, or liver. With no evidence, Isaac is released on bond, and the case teeters on collapse. But our story takes another deadly turn. On October 20th, 1914, Isaac Fields is shot dead with buckshot to the face by John Glover, Nancy's brother. The Birmingham News splashes the story across its front page. Glover claims self-defense, admitting to a heated argument, the first time he and Fields had met since Nancy's death. He says Isaac struck him with a blunt object and believing his life was in danger, he fired. The community, braced for trouble since Isaac's release, isn't surprised. Deputy Brents, who had arrested Isaac, now arrests Glover for murder. Isaac is buried on October 21st at Brookside's Field Cemetery near his wife. John Glover, held over by the grand jury, sticks to his self-defense claim. His trial begins on November 30th, 1914, with Judge William Fort presiding over a packed courtroom. Testimony reveals a confrontation at the intersection of the Fields and Glover farms. Words, blows, and a fatal shot exchanged. The jury, unable to decide after a long night, is sequestered. The next morning, on December 3rd, Glover is found guilty of murder and sentenced to 13 years. His attorneys vow to appeal. In January 1916, while awaiting appeal, Glover is released on bond. His appeal succeeds, and he returns to the community, moving his family to Maxine in southwestern Jefferson County near the community of Praco. For a moment, it seems the tragedy might finally rest. But the shadow of violence looms. On July 4th, 1923, the Birmingham Post reports a new tragedy. John Glover, now 9 years after Nancy's death, is killed by his own son, Dred Glover, aged 15, at their home in Maxine. Coroner J.D. Rossum describes it as one of the most pitiful cases he's investigated. The facts are harrowing. John Glover comes home drunk and lies on the porch, demanding that his daughter Eva, 13, fan him. When she complies, he then orders her away. He then reprimands the girl for doing what he asked. When his wife Cora intervenes, saying, "John, you told her to get away," he flies into a rage. Grabbing a shotgun, he threatens to kill Cora. Mrs. Glover and their sons, Silas, 17, and Dred, wrestle the gun away. John balls up a fist and strikes his wife, knocking her off the front porch. As she flees from him, he grabs a loaded .22 rifle that's resting nearby and raises it. Dred, still holding the shotgun, fires once, striking his father and killing him instantly. Constable Slaughter arrests Dred, but Coroner Rossum, moved by the family's story, places him under house arrest. Mrs. Glover tells the coroner that her husband had abused her for 20 years, often threatening her and the children with loaded guns. "Are you going to take my boy away from me for this?" she pleads. Rossum, speaking to each family member separately, finds their stories perfectly aligned. The coroner halts the investigation, leaving it to the Jefferson County grand jury to complete their fact-finding mission. On July 6, the Birmingham News reports that Dred is cleared of criminal charges, with Chief Deputy Hill and Coroner Rossum concluding he acted to protect his mother, brother, and sister. What began with Nancy Field's mysterious death in 1914 ended with a cycle of violence that claimed her husband and her brother, leaving a family shattered. Was Nancy poisoned? Or was her death a tragic misunderstanding? Did John Glover's rage and abuse stem from unresolved grief over his sister? And what scars did young Dred carry, forced to kill his father to save his mother? The Fields and the Glover families hold these secrets, whispering a tale of loss that echoes through the generations. This story, spanning nearly a decade, reminds us how tragedy can ripple through families and communities, leaving no one untouched. Thanks for joining us at Town Square Tales. If you were gripped by this story, drop a line in the comments section, hit that like button and subscribe, share it with a friend, and let us know what other hidden histories you'd like to hear about. Until next time, keep exploring the stories that shape our world. We'll see you next time at the Town Square.